Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and of course you can tell right here we're looking at the Penguin from the Batman animated series line, brought to you in part by Kenner. This was the first design for Penguin, and this Penguin was actually designed out of the Tim Burton Batman movie, the Batman Returns film that came out in '92. So when the animated series came out, since the two were really close together, they went with the Danny DeVito type of a penguin look, and it is very much done in paying homage to the Danny DeVito characters. I have a bunch of little fur pieces here. Not quite as... there's a lot of little fur on here, and string and fuzz, so I apologize for that. So very much out of the movie. Not as grotesque, but you can definitely tell, even in the color of the outfit, the beige and white, the gray pants, and then the jacket that Danny DeVito's character wore, the Penguin character in Batman Returns, wore in that film. So, like I said, very much, and that's exactly what the animators, Bruce Timm, designed him out of. So if you watch the special features on the Batman animated series as they're talking about the Penguin, this is where the incarnation came from. Now when we get into the latter part of the animated series, when it switched over to the New Adventures of Batman, they redesigned the Penguin all over again and made him look more towards the comic books than the Danny DeVito, since they were now far enough removed from that. We've gone through Batman and Robin that they redesigned the Penguin figure. But I've always liked this figure a lot. The jacket, like the capes, does come off, but I think it's a much more impressive to have him in this overcoat. Now, like the Robin figure that I had, I am missing all of his accessories. Again, he came with this large umbrella that fired, so I think because of the size of it, I put it in another box somewhere. So probably when I find the glider, I will find the other halves of these accessories. The Penguin, when you did put it on his arm, always made him topple over because the umbrella was so heavy. Since I don't have the umbrella, and I was mentioning Batman Returns, from time to time I would put the Batman Returns Catwoman up next to this Penguin, and the two look really, really good together. Recently I have picked up the new Penguin from the animated The New Adventures of Batman and Robin, which actually he's technically a JLU figure. I don't even normally have this Penguin with the animated series figures anymore. On my movie shelf, I will normally put this Penguin with the '92 Batman Returns Batman and this Catwoman, and have the three of them standing on the shelf, and you can instantly tell that this is the Danny DeVito Penguin just with the other figures that are there. The actual Penguin from this series was actually a repaint of the Superpowers Penguin figure, and that figure always looked weird and not in scale and in colors with this Catwoman, and this Penguin definitely does. So that's sometimes what I do. I will move this Penguin over to the movie side of the shelf. So this was a shorter review, just without having the accessories. Again, all of the box art information is going to be down here. You can click my Facebook page and see those pictures. Again, standard action figure articulation. The Penguin's head does rotate, but his long hair here in the back does prevent it from going over the shoulder, so kind of like Killer Croc. He could turn 360, but I would kind of fear that I'd be breaking the figure, so he basically only can look left and right unless you're putting some extra weight and force on him. Arms do go all the way around without any problem, and the coat doesn't get bunched up, and the legs he can get surprisingly in a good seated position. So even with a coat, he did have a vehicle that he could ride around in. So I think the figures that they made vehicles for, they made sure that these figures could sit down in and on and around them. So I always thought this was a great looking figure. Again, just kind of depended on my mood, whether he was with my Batman Returns figures or if he was with my animated series figures. So that's going to do it for the Penguin. This has been the 1990, I believe, I didn't check that out. This is a 93 figure, so he was in the first batch of figures that was released. So the main villains were Penguin, Catwoman, and the Joker. So I can bring all of them up here, and the Riddler. So we've seen 3 of the 4 villains that were first released in the animated series. We have the Riddler yet to go through, then we can see the main 4. So you had Batman and Robin, the 4 main villains, which we have 3 right here, and then the starting of the multicolored Batman and Robins, until we get later on in the series where they start bringing us actually more individual figures rather than repainted figures. So today we've been taking a look at Penguin from the Batman animated series line, and as always, I am Rob for Rob's Rogue, signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.